Welcome, race fans, to the CASCAR 250. You follow along with the virtual Daytona International Speedway, where we're here following Daniel Michael at the moment as he comes in for a pit stop after coming out during practice. We've got about 10 minutes left in practice, left to go, as we're here at Daytona. A lot of our drivers are here and ready to roll. There's a lot of action that's going to be filled with tonight. So many of our drivers out here. We're going to have some fantastic participation. I believe we're up to 20 already. I think we're in for an entirely full field. Something tells me my graphics card is already going to be complaining as we're only in practice, but I think it's going to be an absolutely fantastic race that we're going to be seeing a little bit later throughout the night. Of course, this is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everyone that is out there. I wish you all have a great day, and I hope that you were able to enjoy the 14 laps of the Daytona 500 we had today so far. I believe they're going to be going live once more a little bit later tonight. Or possibly it's going to be pushed off into tomorrow or potentially Tuesday. You know that a lot of people's favorite drivers got taken out a little bit early on, which is very disappointing, but it happens. So, compared to our last week's race, which was the shootouts, you're going to be seeing a lot of new drivers here tonight, because a lot of these drivers did not get the requirement to be in the shootouts. We remember from the shootouts that we had a fantastic finish between Jeffrey Belk and... don't know what's up with that spike there. Jeffrey Belk. That's where it came from. We see Daniel Michael there spinning across after he hit the wall. Jeffrey Belk and Brendan Fiedler having an absolutely phenomenal race to the finish line for EG Racing. So right now we're currently following along with Jacob Waters here as he runs down the backstretch. So here's your top 10. In first position is going to be Greg Snellgrove. As we saw him leading in qualifying in the shootouts last week. Daniel Michael's going to be running up in second place in that 25 machine, and Mark Lapierre's in third. I think that's going to be an absolutely phenomenal race, just with how much action we're going to be seeing throughout the night. I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling a little bit Daytona'd out. From how much we've seen of it. Not only was there the iRacing Daytona 500s, a lot of leagues have been doing the 500 as well. So I think it's good for everyone to get it out of their system, and we'll be moving on to Homestead in 2 weeks. Next week we have the off week for CASCAR. In any case, I believe it's going to be great here tonight. We're going to be running in the daytime, which is phenomenal, not the mixture between fantastic and phenomenal. And I think it's going to be allowing the racing to get a little bit more interesting with some tire wear, playing into it a bit more than it did in the shootout. Still, a lot of these guys are doing so far so good. Thank you for the follow, Jacob McMillan. I know that's you. Thank you very much for the follow. You too, Steven. I appreciate it. We're in for already. We've seen a lot of these guys pull out some fantastic racing before those we've seen as we even get more people loading in. I believe we're up to 21 now. So with more people coming in, I think it's going to make for some fantastic racing. I believe that's a continuous loop we see with the airplane landing in the background. Let's follow along with Brian Morrison here. So here he is, currently going through 3 and 4. A lot of these guys are, like I said before, a little bit newer to Season 2 here, as we already had the first race in the shootouts, which is a non-points playing race, already play out last week. Thank you to all the viewers at home who are joining us now. I do appreciate it. Tyler Hallahan, who finished in... Oh, looks like he's not going to be out on track. But he finished pretty further down because he got caught up in a big wreck in the shootouts last week. But he did qualify second, and he was on that outside row. I wonder what he's going to be able to pull out for practice this time. He's currently running 5th with a lot more people here. We'll see what it makes up for. Again, not too much time left in practice. Looks like we have 8 minutes about left to go. And I think it's going to be some good time for these guys to get into a bit of a groove. Each CASCAR race has 50 minutes of practice for these guys to get ready to go, which I think is going to really help out, which is why it's not so jam-packed right now with people trying to get more practice time than is a lot of people had more time to get in there. In any case, I think it's going to be great. So, with what's going on tonight, we do have a bit of an interesting format. So we're going to have this practice as we do right now, and then we're going to get into qualifying. Now, after qualifying, we're actually going to be having a duels where everyone below third position, so third position and back, is going to be going into 2 heat races where it is going to be a shootout to determine each line. Thank you for the question. We have about 7 minutes of practice left to go. And after these 2 heat races get finished up, we'll be moving on to the main feature, which is 250 miles of Daytona. After some good practice last week, I'm sure that Greg Snellgrove, who is currently running still in first, is very excited. Although we are looking in the standings here, running very towards the back, I don't think he's set a time yet, is Jeffrey Belk, who is not quite there yet. As I've said before, we have a bit over 20 people now loaded up into the session. Once again, thank you everyone who's joining me at home. I do appreciate it, and I'm sure that CASCAR does too. So, I should probably move on to our sponsor here. Make sure you check out Black Designs, the series sponsor of CASCAR here. So any of these iRacing designs that you see out here are mostly designed by Stephen Black, so make sure you check him out to get your iRacing designs. comedic timing aside from that little transition into the other part of the song and the slide of Hunter here, that is a a lot of these guys actually were kind enough to send me these forms where they give a little bit of information about some of the things they do or about their sponsors and such. So looking at our current top driver, that is Greg. Oh, it looks like he's not loaded up into the session. But he and multiple other people in the session here all race 4-cylinders with Dodge Neons at their own local track. I thought that was a pretty cool thing that they all do. So I believe Tyler does that along with them, which is, I think, pretty cool. A lot of these guys do have some other experience with other leagues and other places they like to race too. It's cool to be able to see all these people have different connections moving in, which I really do think makes all these guys respect each other a bit more on the track, which I think prevents a lot of other wrecks. Minute and 30 left of practice. I think that we're going to be moving into our final bits here. Anyone that wants to put out a fast lap, this is their time to do it. But like I said earlier, with 50 minutes, I think a lot of people are pretty satisfied with what they get. Here's Patrick Coluccio. We're going to follow along with him. See if he wants to make up any late breaks and do something interesting. So Patrick here did actually give me a response. Let's see if it wants to load up for me. So I'll give you some information on some of the stuff that he does. Here he is. So Patrick here is from West Sand Lake, New York, and he races with Great White North Incorporated. That's one of the teams here, and they all run Chevrolets. So his car sponsor is going to be the Navy Federal Credit Union, and that is also going to be his driver sponsor as well. The little bit of trivia he lists, I'm assuming because it's his favorite driver, is that this league calls him the league's Kyle Larson. Okay. We did see Kyle Larson getting back into the 500 today, which I think makes for a bit of interesting divide on how it's going to be handled with him in the future. So this is the end of practice here, and when we get into qualifying, I will be back. Thank you for the follow, Ham Sandwich 85. Good to see you. All right, so here we are. We are in, and we're going to be following along with Jacob Waters here. He's going to be our target of the night for right now. So this is going to be Jacob's first appearance here in the CASCAR League. First in total, wasn't here last season either. So let's see how he does here. You're going to see with Daytona, a lot of drivers have different methods of trying to get the fastest one. But you can see here that Jacob's going to be following the conventional one, which is to, on your out lap and on your first lap, you're going to be running the high line the entire time. And then on your second lap, unless there's only one lap, which I think there might be now that I think about it, you run the bottom the entire rest of the time. So here's Jacob and his Red Bull machine. Also sponsored by Pepsi as well. Something tells me those sponsors don't like each other very much in their markets, but it's a good-looking car regardless. Looking at our on-track map, it looks like Jacob is currently the person furthest so far, which I think is pretty cool, which puts him in a different place. All right, as we come up to the line here, we're going to see the time. A 47.5. Okay. Let's see what some of our other guys gets. That's Michael Kenzel moving himself up into that first position. Jacob back .002. That is close. You can see a lot of these guys are very competitive, all taking a very similar strategy. I wonder if that would have changed if Jacob decided to take the high line for a little bit longer. Jeffrey Belk says otherwise, though, and puts himself into the first position now, moving Jacob back by .03. My apologies. Still, so very close. Being within like a tenth of a second is amazing with how close. And I think that's going to be an indication of how close the racing is going to be. So that's Jeffrey Belk up into first position. Going to be maintaining that now. Let's see. Let's follow along with him a little bit. He's going to be in the number 55 machine. Paul M says otherwise and puts himself up into the first. Let's follow along with him now. Oh, that was the second lap. As I believe it was Jeffrey's too. Oh, so many people second lap. Here we go. This is going to be actual second lap here. I think of Jeffrey Belk. I wish it did give me that information. It would be nice to see. But as you can see, so many drivers are close. That's Brian Fradian, super close. .009 back. Something tells me we won't really know the entire starting grid until we get to the actual end of the qualifying session. Stephen Black, someone that we've seen many times in other leagues, puts himself up into first in that number 98 Camry of his. And Rational Richard Drake is also going to try to put himself up in first. You can see that gap on the left-hand side of the screen, just how close all these guys are. Wow. Very close. I will say one of the interesting perspectives of watching from these TV cameras going in is you get to see really how nice these cars look as they come into their pit stalls without all the other ones, which is interesting. Don't usually see it from that perspective. Here's Cody Snyder, currently running in 23rd. Let's see what he gets from this qualifying lap. He moves up into 5th position. What a gain. That's some great moves that we've just saw out of Cody Snyder. Now, unlike the actual last race that we saw with CASCAR, it looks like Greg Snowgrove and Tyler Hallahan have not locked out the front row, which I think is going to make things interesting as we continue to roll forward. Here's Sylvan. Let's follow along with him. Not too many people left. I believe we have 3 qualifiers left. Let's follow along on the inside as well. You can just see how steep the banking is. .31 degrees. Built in 1959. That's Daytona International Speedway. Massive banking. The good part about being in iRacing, the simulation, you don't really feel those G-forces, which I believe we saw in the ARC race was making some of the drivers numb. However, it still is going to be quite a battle to fight these cars and make sure you keep them straight going through the corners here at Daytona. So it looks like for the moment, Richard Drake is really going to be the final one, as it looks like Michael Jennings is your final driver coming through. And Rational Richard Drake is going to be your current pole sitter, unless Michael Jennings can upset, but I don't think that's going to be the case. 26 drivers qualified. 26. That's some great participation that we've seen out of CASCAR so far, and I think it's going to make the rest of our season, with the next race being the 180 of Florida's Natural at Homestead, Miami, absolutely fascinating. So here's a random fact about Daytona International Speedway. It is the largest lighted sports facility in the United States. Makes sense with how much lighting there is, but still, I think that's a pretty cool and interesting fact to know. So there is your grid. Let's go through it. So, starting on pole position on the inside line is going to be the number 41 of Richard Drake. On his outside is going to be the number 98 of Stephen Black. In the second row on the inside line, that's going to be Kevin E. Bullock. On his outside is going to be Jeffrey Belk. Then in the third row on the inside line, that's going to be Cody Snyder. On his outside is going to be Brian Fradian. Then in the fourth row on the inside line, that's Greg Snellgrove. On his outside is going to be Hunter. They're going to be quite an interesting pack back there. In the fifth row on the inside line is going to be Patrick Coluccio, who's going to make things interesting in that number 44 machine. On his outside is going to be the number 1 of Nick Shriver. Then going back, we have Paul Ems on the inside with Wes Gallo on the outside. I believe that's going to be the seventh row with the number 66 of Sylvan on the inside. On his outside is going to be Clint Mata. Then we have Don Ashton and Brian Morrison behind them, who are going to make things interesting with the number 52 and number 6 machines. Then we are going to have Daniel Michael on the inside with Michael Kenzel on the outside. Oh, that's going to get confusing very fast. Then in 19th, we have Marc LaPierre with Michael Jennings on his outside, riding up in 20th position. Then there's the number 88 of Tyler Hallahan, running in 21st. On his outside is going to be Rob Carroll. Then our newbie to the field, that's going to be Jacob Waters, who's going to be running on the inside with Matthew Malavana on his outside. Then rounding out the rear of the grid is going to be the number 17 of Dean Qualley, which I believe Jackson is going to be subbing in for. Thank you, everyone who has come out to the stream today. I appreciate it. That's a lot of viewers. Thank you, guys. I'm very excited to get going here tonight, and I think it's going to make for an absolutely fascinating race that we're going to be seeing. Well, with that being your field, that locks out the top two, Rational Richard Drake and Stephen Black, out of the heat sessions, which are going to be starting shortly. So, until those heat starts, I'll be back. All right, you join me here for the first heat, where we're now going to be seeing the inside row be battled for. Kevin E. Bullock is going to be starting on the inside, and Cody Snyder is going to be on his outside. They're going to be the top two so far for this first heat session. Greg Snellgrove is going to be riding in third on holding up that inside line with Patrick Coluccio on his outside. That's also going to make things interesting here tonight, as we've seen those guys be very fast in the past. It's going to be a 10-lap shootout to see who gets which row for the inside lane. All right, there's the pace car off. Let's get moving. I will say the one nice thing about being up in this camera is we actually get to see how nice all these cars look. I believe a lot of people here run their own custom paint schemes. I shouldn't say all, but a lot of them designed by Black Designs, which you should check out as they're the series sponsor of CASCAR, and Stephen Black is a pretty cool guy. In any case, a lot of these guys with their awesome paint schemes are going to be running out here tonight, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of them, hopefully not too many of them, damaged. So it looks like Kevin E. Bullock is going to be in that number 5 machine, mimicking Kyle Larson's Nation Guard, which is a car dealership and not what you might think it is if you're American. Regardless, he is going to be bringing up the front of the field, and that is going to make things interesting. Now, there's going to be a imaginary restart zone that has been drawn out, and that's going to be a little bit after the pace car is pulled off. And that's where those guys are allowed to restart in there, because that's where their green flag drops. It's been highlighted for everyone, so everyone knows exactly where it is and where to go. All right, well, here we are at Daytona. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited. All right, that's pace car off. We're coming in to the tri-oval now. There it is. That is the green flag dropped, and we are off with the first 10-lap shootout of the heat at Daytona. All right, it looks like we made it through turns 1 and 2, so we're going to be running down the backstretch now. That's Greg Snellgrove up into first position. He has absolutely put himself in a fantastic position here tonight. I knew that when he was starting at third, he was going to be moving. So here we are. We are at New Daytona, which does mean that the bottom line is actually usable. We saw that in the CASCAR race of last week, where they actually were using it to try to get some moves on. Now, that does not mean you should not run the high line. That high line is absolutely... it has to be one of the fastest lines here if you're getting a good push. So right now, that's what you're seeing. A lot of these guys, after their experience last week in the shootouts, they're going to be pushing Greg on that high line. Now, the issue why you don't want to run the high line all the time as well is it's a little bit more difficult to defend your position. We're on the bottom. Nobody's able to pass below you. It's the double yellow line. But here, well, being on that outside allows people to just shoot up your inside, and you do have to be careful of that, even if it does give you a bit more of a run down the tri-oval and the backstretch. A lot of these guys able to hold it pretty well. We see a little bit of bobbing and weaving, but they're able to hold it pretty well. You see Jacob Waters there bringing up the rear, the rookie in the series. He was very kind and put up a big yellow spoiler for me to be able to call it out a bit easier. Marc Lapierre, that's the fastest lap of the race so far. That's going to make things here interesting. 25 miles these guys are going to be running, and that's lap number 3 that we are on. 3.5, I should say, as we enter in the backstretch. Here at Daytona, these guys are absolutely moving. Kevin Bullock's having a little bit of troubles keeping up the speed on that bottom line. Although I shouldn't really say that, as the number 4 of Cody Snyder is having a bit of issues pushing Greg. Number 44 of Patrick Coluccio is having some issues as well, having to keep everyone in a very safe spot. We saw that number 44 come up a little bit, which makes things a bit more difficult. Not 44, 4. Come up a little bit. That does mean that Kevin Bullock now is going to be the one that is in first place. Looks like we had someone dive off to the infield, making sure they avoided a collision. So they're now going to be riding up in the rear. Once again, I want to thank everyone for coming out here tonight. I do appreciate it. I'm sure these guys do too, and their sponsors actually able to see their cars. You can see Patrick Coluccio there trying to give the number 4 a push of Cody Snyder, but it's not really working out too well, as Kevin Bullock is able to just hold that inside line a lot smoother. Oh, there it is. That's a wreck across the tri-oval, and that's going to push your top 4 at the moment going out, and that is caution. That is the yellow out. So many people involved in that. As as we're getting prepped to go into the 250 with heat number 1. That is going to be your first caution here. Lap number 5. What an incident that was. Now, give me a second while I go find out what exactly that was. Alright, you join me here so we can actually see what's happening live. Let's watch. We're going to be following with Patrick Coluccio, which is going to be that number 44 machine. Heading to the tri-oval. 25 comes up and it looks like they clip, and that is a huge wreck there. Unfortunate. Massive wreck across the tri-oval, collected a whole ton of drivers. That essentially ruined a lot of people's races. Unfortunate. You know, sending it 3 wide, I believe that was the number 25 of Daniel Michael, just sending it up, which, well, causes some issues. The 44, yeah, I'd say Patrick came down a little bit, but I think that's a lot more of the iRacing system grabbing them together. Still, what an unfortunate accident. All right, so we're right now following on with the number 5 of Kevin Bullock at the moment. He's still going to be leading this race as caution laps do not count here. Greg up into 2nd position. That's going to make things interesting now, because we saw him go up to 3rd, up into 2nd real quick. It moves. Not quite sure what my system is doing, because it's telling me that a lot of things have happened. In any case, I think it's going to make for a continued interesting race. There's a 28 of Paul Ems there. These guys are going to be coming to the green flag relatively soon. I believe this is their second to last lap before they get the lights off on the pace car. Now, you just got to wonder what your top 4 there, because I believe it was exclusively your top 4 that made it through. You got to wonder what they're thinking at the moment. Like, they just got through a pretty significant wreck. You know, everyone else behind them, sure, they have 5-lap fresher tires, but it doesn't really make a difference with that short of a run. Still, it's something to be aware of, and these guys are going to have to consider it. That's Jacob Waters, our newbie, up into 5th position, and that's Jackson Quali, I believe that is not Dean, up into 6th, who started pretty far in the rear. Quali's, as usual, running in their Black Designs Camrys as they work for Cyclone Racing. That makes sense, right, for them. Daniel Michael in that number 25 machine is going to be currently riding in 7th. All right, that is the lights off the pace car. We're going to be coming to the green flag relatively shortly now. Gotta think what these guys that made it through pretty well, like Jacob Waters, he was able to get through and got himself into a fantastic position now, but he is going to be starting on that inside lane. You gotta be wondering what he's thinking. Is he going to be able to hold it with everybody else and make an interesting run, or do you think he's going to file out to the rear and, you know, let everyone else come through? Gotta wonder though. He has some fresher tires. This guy's ready to roll. Jackson Quali as well. Jackson is an obviously skilled driver. We've seen him in many other series like iOS, where he just absolutely destroys the field sometimes with his speed. So I think it's going to be a interesting 5 laps left to go. All right, well, as the pace car enters into the fourth turn at Daytona International Speedway, the pace car is about to be off quite shortly. Kevin Bullock is going to be starting in first position on the inside lane with Greg Snellgrove on his outside. That's the pace car off. There it is, the green flag here at Daytona International Speedway. Kevin Bullock, it's off to a pretty good start. That's Greg Snellgrove looking pretty good as well. These guys are making sure they have adequate space as they continue to race through now. 5 to go to get this inside lane. Kevin Bullock at the moment is going to be getting that 3rd place position when we go up into the main feature. But we'll see how long that lasts for. It looks like Sylvania is going to be dropping out towards the rear. Does not want to get too involved. That's Jacob Waters up into 4th position, though, looking to make some moves. He's got Cody Snyder on his outside. He does have to be right there. That's Greg on his outside, too. That outside line does not have huge air. Just 3 cars while everyone else is riding low. We see the 39 going up there to help push to give him a bit more speed, but that's only 4 cars on the outside lane. Jacob having a little bit more of some lead in there. Got to be careful of that. Do not want to cause an accident here at Daytona. Paul M's currently running in now 2nd position, really, if they can get a little bit more of a pull on Greg there. That inside lane is moving. Now, you have to be wary of a very constant phrase you hear here. Don't push the pusher. So if someone's going to be drafting you down the straight, you got to be mindful of them. You don't want to be, having them push you and then you push someone else. That's what causes these chain reactions that everyone get beat up and spun out. That outside lane is looking pretty even. There we go. You see, now they're just going too wide the entire way back. These guys have got it in the bag. Gotta love that sound as all these cars go thundering on that main straight. Absolutely just have to love it. Still, this 2-wide racing, as great as it is, they do have to be wary. If that inside lane bobbles a bit too much, or I should say the outside too, then it's going to be causing massive issues for these guys. Outside lane now getting a bit of a run as they enter the tri-oval. That is still going to be the inside lane with the superior speed, though. All right, we're coming to 2 to go. That's Patrick Coluccio now with the fastest lap of this heat. Jacob Waters getting a bit more of a bobble there. He's got to be careful. He does not want to cause more issues now. We're getting to 2 to go. They can still throw the caution at this point. It's not the white flag yet. That's the outside lane looking slow. Inside lane about to pull out. Kevin Bullock is going to be getting that 3rd place position unless Greg can do something about it as we enter turn number 4 here at Daytona International Speedway. 20 years after the unfortunate timely death of Dale Earnhardt Sr., we are here with the virtual rendition where these drivers are now with the white flag to go here. They're running a bit 3 wide towards the back. Are they going to be able to hold it as they come into turn number 1? Jacob bobbles on the apron. They're going 3 wide. Jacob is able to hold it. Looks like it screws up a lot of the places there. That's going to be a lot of guys now. They're going to be having a bit of an enemy now. They got to pay attention to that. That's Paul Ems, though. He is now going to be the one leading this race. Kevin Bullock have a bit of an issue slowing. Now that's a huge wreck in the backstretch as Paul Ems continues to lead with Greg Snellgrove on his outside. Kevin Bullock on the inside. They're fighting for this inside lane. That's Kevin into Greg, pushing him into the wall. The 28 of Paul Ems is coming to the finish line. Kevin Bullock is not able to have enough speed and gets that 2nd place in heat number 1. What an absolute finish we just watched. All right, I need to go see what that wreck was. So give me a second as we go into the replay to find that. Well, I say that, but it looks like iRacing has other ideas. We're gonna have to check back a little bit later to get that because the iRacing system decided it did not want that to happen anymore. So, what? Wow, that I don't know. That was the ending of a race we just saw. Absolutely crazy. Pace car is now off. We're gonna be seeing what comes next in our fantastic racing series here. We're going to get Paul Ems up into here while we interview him before these guys go green. Paul, this is Noah up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Wow, what an absolute finish you just had.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that's going to be third place for you now as we head into the feature after this second heat. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's always nice starting a new series with these guys. I don't like to ruffle too many feathers, but starting with a win's a good way to go, I guess.
Absolutely. Getting a front row start on Daytona can make the absolute hugest of differences.
Well, still a long way to go, but it's a good place to be. I'm not complaining at all.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. I got to get ready for this heat, too. That's going to start in just about 30 seconds.
Thank you.
All right. That was Paul Ems, your heat number 1 winner. Steven, I don't know where you heard that over there, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. All right, pace car is now coming in. Pace car is off. All right, it's going to be here at Daytona. Another 10 laps. That's the green flag. Jeffrey Bell gets off to a fantastic start. Brian Fradian gets a little bit more of a rough one, putting him into now second place. Not able to quite keep up with the pace. A lot of these guys a little bit struggling towards the rear now. They're going to be a lot more spread out than we saw with the other heat. Wes Gallo in the number 7 machine is currently going to be 07. Looks like need have a little bit of a trading paints issue there. He's going to be pushing Hunter at the moment. Try to get themselves into up to a good position. Now, there we go. That outside lane is moving once again. That's Michael Kenzel into the wall. I think he just skimmed it just a tad, but that's going to cause some issues there. That would be correct, Stephen. I also am known as race control in other random places that we do not discuss. All right, that's lap number 2 we are into now here at Daytona International Speedway. What a race it's going to be. The inside lane is having a lot more movement than they did last time. They are actually able to keep up a lot more speed. That outside lane is struggling a lot more than they did previously. It looks like we're going to have a 7 and an 07 conflict here. Perfect. This is something that's going to be cleared up a little bit later, unless I misunderstand. That's someone into the grass there. Who's that back there? Is that... Okay. Still, that's a... I think that's the current 88, but the 88 already ran earlier. Regardless, looks like someone went off into the infield, which is going to be shaking up the race here, which means that now there's one less person to be in contention. Jeffrey Belk, major contender in last week's race. The winner of the shootout is going to be the one that is taking the push now. That's Rob Carroll with the fastest lap of the race so far. That draft can make an absolute huge difference. 07 comes up. They're about to run 3 wide. If they move it a bit too much, you got to be careful there. Exploiting the draft here in iRacing does not work quite as well as it does in real life. Gotta love that sound. I'm sorry, I have to say it. You just, oh, it's so good listening to those V8 engines all revved up. These guys are holding it really consistently. I say that as the 6 machine of Brian Morrison comes up and bobbles quite a bit, which is going to upset that outside lane. And it's going to make things a little bit more difficult now. You know, even when you're a bit further back, it does mess up the field. That's Matthew Malavagna putting himself as the fastest lap now of this heat. The 82, looking to see if he can make some moves. Clint Mata is someone I have not seen before in CASCAR, but I'm sure right now, if I'm looking at any indication with that jelly bean machine, he is going to really be a person to watch. Brian Fradian is now going to be pushing Jeffrey Belk now as they come through. EG Racing is going to be a team to watch here tonight. Looks like that driver that fell back earlier has caught up. Good for them. I'm glad that they were able to. That makes it even more of an intense race as we have 5 laps left to go here at Daytona. Yes, that was Matthew. He was currently running in an 88 when he's supposed to be in an 85. How did I know? That outside lane looking pretty good still at the moment. These guys are getting ready to finish out this heat and go into the main feature of 250 miles at Daytona. Bit bopping and weaving for that outside lane. It's a bit early, guys. Don't wreck yet. Oh, into the wall. That's going to be that Napa machine we see back there. The 15 of Michael Kenzel. That high line, like I said earlier, can be a lot faster, but you gotta be careful of that. You don't want to get into the wall. It's better than it was with older versions where if you got into the wall, it kind of just ate you. But still, you do not want to get into the wall. Glenn Mata looking to see if he can get a push from that 84 of Hunter to see if he can really put himself into a good spot. But it looks like that inside lane is just going to absolutely run away with it. That's the 81 into the infield. I think that was a bit of a bump that pushed him down there. The 2 coming up. That's a spin right there. There he is. That's the number 81 of Brian Fradian into the wall. As the caution does not come out. Okay, I don't... Oh, yep, caution does not come out. That is going to make things very interesting now. As that 81 was holding up a lot of the front of that field. What are they going to do now? The 82 is able to come down low. That's Clint Mott now into the lead, getting pushed by Jeffrey Belk. The outside lane a bit slower now. Hunter is going to be leading that field, but does not quite have the pace to keep up with it. Wes Gallo is going to be pushing him too. '84 now able to keep on that outside lane. That is going to make things very interesting as we have only 2 laps left to go. When we get to the white flag, we cannot call the caution. I think this race is just about to get a whole lot more interesting. Currently battling for 4th position at the moment. This is for the battle for the outside lane. This is one that you're actually going to want to place highly in, as the further you are back, just it almost doubles your position if you are back. All right, we're coming to the line. All right, that it is. That is the white flag here at Daytona. Bit of a cut there from the 06, not the 06, the 6. I saw that. Looks like Michael is waving a bit more. Not Michael. Matthew Malvano. The 82 getting a big push. That's Jeffrey Belk setting it 3 wide down the backstretch. They are holding it. Jeffrey Belk almost clear, not quite. That's the one spinning off. Jeffrey Belk into the lead. Is he going to win another Daytona here? If Clint Mata has anything to say about it, he's not going to let him. They come into the line. They're running 4 wide in the rear there. They come in. There it is. This is the trial. It's for everything here. There it is. And that is across the line. I believe that is, yep, there it is. That's Jeffrey Belk, your Heat 2 winner. Wow, 50 miles already. Essentially, we should just call this the CASCAR 300. English, okay. 100 miles out of the way of just heat races before we go into the 250. All right, iRacing decided that's going to be now the time. All right. Well, this is going to be a little bit of a time for these guys to have a bit of a break and calm down and get everything all sorted out. So this is a phenomenal time for me to interview your winner, Jeffrey Belk. Winner of Heat 2, I should say. Where is he? There he is. Let's bring him up here. Jeffrey, this is no open the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, that is another Daytona win. How do you feel about that?
That was great. If it wasn't for Westwood when I got that, he gave me a big shot there at the end to get across the line first.
Absolutely, he did. These guys, you guys were racing right up to the end of the line. It is very reminiscent of last week.
I don't know how close that one was, but I know it was right there at the line as well.
Still, that's a fantastic heat win. You're going to be starting in 4th position now.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of this race.
We'll see.
All right. So we're now still in the warm-up, and that's going to give me a little bit of time to take a bit of a breather there. So I'll be back in a little bit. Thank you for everyone that's stuck around so far. Don't go far. We're about to be going back to racing soon. So, CASCAR, if you didn't know, was the Canadian Association of Stock Car Auto Racing, which was closed down essentially in 2006. So the CASCAR you see here is not quite the same, but this CASCAR instead is run by Greg here. He is the one that basically puts on all the show, and he's the one that I have to talk to see what's really going on here. So with that, he presented me with a choice, a very important choice, as this is a mostly Canadian league, of do I play the United States national anthem or the Canadian national anthem? So with that, I decided for the shootouts I just wouldn't choose. And for this race here, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Next week, we'll see if I make... not next week, 2 weeks, when we go back to Homestead, Miami with the Florida's Natural 180. We'll see if I've made up my mind yet. I don't want to get too many people against me, but I also got to show some American pride here. So, we'll see. In any case, we're coming in now to the starting lineup for tonight's race. There it is, the pace car off. Let's go through our grid. So, in first position, you're still going to have Richard Drake. On his outside is going to be Stephen Black in that number 98 machine. Now, in third position, your Heat 1 winner, Kevin E. Bullock. On his outside, Jeffrey Belk, who won this Heat 2. Fourth position on the inside, Cody Snyder. On his outside, Brian Fradian. In the fourth row on the inside line is going to be Greg Snellgrove. On the outside is going to be Hunter. In the fifth row on the inside is going to be Patrick Coluccio. On his outside is going to be Nick Schraver. Then, going for the down, in 11th position on the inside line, we're going to have the number 28 of Paul Ems. On his outside is going to be Wes Gallo in the number 7 machine. Then, behind him on the inside line is going to be Sylvan in that number 66 machine. On his outside is going to be Clint Mata, who we saw absolutely kicking butt earlier, but looks like he had some issues earlier. Now, in 15th on the inside line, it's going to be Don Ashton. With the outside is going to be Brian Morrison. Then, in the 17th spot with the number 25 machine, that's Daniel Michael. On his outside is going to be Michael Kenzel. Looks like that's going to be an issue once again. What are the odds? Now, in 19th position on the inside lane is going to be Marco Lapierre. On his outside is going to be Michael Jennings. 21st is going to be the number 88 of Tyler Hallahan. On his outside is going to be number 2 of Rob Carroll. 23rd position on the inside lane, your rookie Jacob Waters. On his outside, Matthew Malvana. And then bringing up the rear of the field is going to be the number 17 of the qualies, which is either Dean or Jackson. I still need to check. All right, here we are coming now. About to start the CASCAR 250, sponsored by Black Designs. Make sure you check them out. That's the pace car off. Green flag we are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. That is your first lap of the CASCAR 250. Stephen Black is going to be currently your leader. On his outside, it's going to be Clint Mata, who's made up some huge gains and got himself into a fantastic position. Jeffrey Belk is now riding in third position on the inside line. Look at that. All these guys so close together. They are absolutely just moving. Rational Richard Drake right there in the number 41 machine is going to be doing the best he can to keep up with everybody else. You can see as we go back a little bit further, behind the 28 of Paul Ems, everyone's running a little bit more single file back there. A lot of these guys have decided that they really wanted to space themselves out and make things interesting. Cody Snyder there with the fastest lap of the race so far. There it is, is, it's Clint Monahan, who's going to be leading the CASCAR 250 at Daytona, sponsored by Black Designs. Remember, if you need your iRacing paints or anything else that looks really nice, make sure you check out Black Designs. That's Stephen Black. So it looks like Wes Gallo has decided that he wants to be the leader now with the EG Racing, not EJ, like I said last time, EG Racing. He's going to be leading for the moment. But that outside lane looks like they're having a little bit of participation issues, only having about 5 drivers pushing on their outside. See a little bit more further towards the rear. You see a lot of these guys now trying to really make up some spots. Wes Gallo continues to lead. Glenn Mata looking awfully interested to see if he can buy. Alright, this is a fantastic opportunity for me to look back in the field just a little bit to see what else is going on here, as these guys are absolutely racing. Brandon Fiedler, nope, said that wrong. Fiedler, my apologies, up into 3rd position. Run back a little bit more, that's Dean Qualley now, up into 17th position. What a move he went on. Something tells me my grid start was from earlier and not the correct one. What a move on his ad though, as it looks like Daniel Michaels can be. There it is, that's your second pack right there. A lot of these guys have got a little bit of start issues, which is going to put them a little bit further back. Jacob Waters is going to be bringing up the rear of that field. And then 2 drivers that are not quite with them are going to be Michael Jennings, who fell really far back, and Nick Shriver, who I believe had to pit early on. Jumping back up to the front of your field, there it is. That's Stephen Black now on the outside lane in his Toyota Camry, trying to see if he can get by on the outside of Clint Mata. Stephen gets the lap led there, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough to clear him down low and try to hold up the line. "100 laps at Daytona." What a race this is so far. We've already seen some fantastic heat racing. That's Stephen Black now, looking like he's got to split that line. If there's a bit too much of a push, he's going to have some issues. Cyclone Racing and EG Racing, they may run Camrys, but does not mean they're working together. Mata up, still running in that first position. That's a bit of a wave there from the number 6. He's going to be taking that outside lane now, although I don't think that was quite his intention. That's going to be shoved. Oh my goodness, there it is. That's a crashing there. That's Matthew getting caught up in that. Any caution to come out? I don't think so. A lot of these guys are pulling further back. No caution. Looks like they're just able to save it through. That's Matthew Malvania, who had some huge waving issues there. Got himself sent way further back. Unfortunate for these guys, and a lot of these guys are going to have to really push up the pace to keep racing. Front of the field seems pretty well unaffected, except for the fact that a lot of it's missing now. There it is. That's the caution coming out. With the caution out, that means that there's probably going to be some strategy play here. These guys will have to pit for fuel at least twice. So what they're going to do to keep strategy up now is we're about 9 laps in when we finish up this slow down lap. I'm not quite sure of what strategies people are going to take. Now give me a second while I go figure out what exactly caused that caution. All right, so it looks like it was an admin thrown caution. I don't think there was anything in particular, as far as I can tell, which specifically brought it out. I'm not quite sure. That's going to be something that's going to have to be told to me. As far as I know, I am not the race controller here. I just broadcast for y'all. Regardless, that is now going to put the number 44 of Patrick Lucchio into the lead, as it looks like a lot of people came into pit to fit that strategy. You can see with the choices made that it really is shaking up the field for a lot of it. That's Stephen Black, though, up into second position. Patrick Lucchio, he's, like I said before, also from New York, which is pretty cool. A lot of our drivers are either Canadian or from New York. I think we do have a bunch of other, I shouldn't say a bunch of, a handful of other drivers from other places, but that brings up the large majority. Alright, we're about to hit a 10th of this race when the pace car comes by. Caution laps do count, unlike the heat races. There's unless Patrick decides he wants to pit now, after everyone else pitted. No, he's not gonna. Tempting, though. So that means everyone else behind him probably has a lot of fuel. I don't imagine they have unlimited tire sets, and taking tires this early into the race is not the decision a lot of people would make. So a lot of these people being able to move up really is going to help their position. All right, so we're about to go to green. Lights on the pace car are off. I think we're going to have a fantastic race here tonight. Once we get it started again, that is. There's the rest of the field being able to catch up finally now. Stephen Black on the outside of Patrick Lucchio. Clint Mata going to be bringing up the inside lane in the second row. Wes Gallo on his outside. So if you're watching here tonight, like I know a lot of people are, comment who you think is going to win tonight. I think it's a interesting race between a lot of different people that we're going to be seeing. So give it a shot. Who knows? You might just be right. While you're at it, also make sure you check out Black Designs. He's made a lot of these paints in this field, and that's why a lot of them look super good. He's going to be in that 98 car, so spam DMing him now will not get much done. All right, we're coming up now to the tri-oval. See the rest of the field there. Everyone just absolutely ready to go. All right, there it is. Pace car coming now off. Green flag is in the air. Lap 11 of 100 here with the 250 miles of Daytona in the CASCAR series. The CASCAR 250, sponsored by Black Designs with Stephen Black leading. Wes Gallo is going to be pushing Stephen there as they now go into turn number 3. A lot of these guys, looks like that inside lane is going to be the one to stick in for the moment. That outside lane very empty. Brandon Fiedler decides that he is going to keep at it, though. I mean, he's also not really having a space to go down, but if he can get pushed. We saw with the shootouts, he was able to be extremely fast. Here they are running down the backstretch. You can see all of them spreading out a little bit. Thankfully, these guys are able to push each other quite square for the moment, as they are not going to have overheating issues quite yet. Thought they were about to go 3 wide there a little bit early for 3 wide here in lap 12 of 100 at Daytona. Stephen Black continues to be your leader, although Brandon Fiedler now is caught up a lot. That's going to be Wes Gallo into the infield. I think he just got shoved down there. That 07 machine is now going to be really far back. He has a lot of momentum to regain. He has to find someone he can stick with. There's Jeffrey Dubb, a teammate of his for EG Racing. They're going to want to work together. Jumping back to the front, you can see Brian Morrison has got himself now up into third position. Stephen Black has recognized that high line is the way to go for the most part. You're going to want to stick with it. Brian Morrison now up into second position. What a move he just pulled. A Clint. These guys need to be careful, though, as they're a little bit bobbling here through the apron in the trial, but you got to be careful. A little bit too much of a bob, and you're going to take a lot of people out. There's a little bit of a bump through there. You got to be mindful of it. It's not quite the bump that you get in the tri-oval at Talladega, but still, it is something to watch here at Daytona. Stephen Black is going to be continuing getting pushed from that number 6 of Brian Morrison. Are he and Fiedler just keep mispronouncing it? I am so sorry, Brian. Are they going to be the ones to run away with it? It looks like the number 44 of Patrick Coluccio wants to get hooked up, though. If he can stay along with him, it's going to make for an interesting ride. So right now, it's going to be Camry, Camaro. Nope, Camry. There it is. A little bit weird from the rear there. And it looks like very few Fords in the field, if any at all, up here in the front. Very different to what we saw in the actual Daytona 500 so far, where it was almost entirely -5 of just Camaros and Mustangs. Yeah, nobody up here is running a Mustang. That is it's a bit weird. Still, a lot of these guys are clearly able to be fast. I don't think it's a Mustang problem in particular. I just think that a lot of people here do not run it. And possibly at a super speedway, that might be a good idea. That's Patrick Coluccio now being sent off into the infield. What happened there? I think he got clipped by someone and had to go down low to make sure he had some big wreck avoidance there. He's going to have to make sure he slows down enough as he hits a bump there. I don't think anyone else is coming to make that an issue. He safely goes down to the apron to make sure everyone else gets by, so there is no more issues going forward. Unfortunate. Clint Mata, though, is now going to be in the lead with Stephen Black trying to fight for it. You can see from that previous wreck we saw, I think it's really going to make a lot of these guys have to try really hard to make sure that they can keep up with the pace. That 34, though, Kyle Munda is going to be trying to push now the 82. Although it looks like that high line is having some struggles, though. Rob Carroll is bringing up the... Nope, no he's not. He was bringing up that top 3 of the outside lane, but that inside line is moving once again. Not something you often see. You usually see that bottom lane struggling a bit more for pace. But here, it looks like they're quite evenly matched, or the bottom line is honestly the one to take. Stephen Black continuing to be your leader. Looks like he's going to be unchallenged for the moment, as Brian Morrison does not quite have the speed to try to get through. Brandon Fiedler coming up now. He's going to be moving to the outside lane. That's a bit of contact, though. I thought I saw some net code. That's going to be the 6 into the 39. Are they able to hold it? All right, that is going to be the caution out. Unfortunate. I believe that probably spun someone, as we saw in there. Give me a second, and I'm going to go see if I can grab it. All right, I have the cause of the caution right here. Let's bring it up. All right, so right now we're going to be flowing with that number 41 of Irrational Richard Drake. As they come through, it looks like he hits the apron after he just previously had skimmed the 82 up there. They come now, it looks like he spins a little bit more. The 25, a net code spins him, which causes him to get into the wall, spun around, and a lot of other people are having some issues there too. The number 29 looks like he has some issues as well with some net code, causing all of them to really fall back and get into a not so favorable position as the caution comes out. All right, we come back now. It looks like Stephen Black has chosen to come into the pits. That's a choice to make. It's still a bit early in this race, lap 20 of 100, although it does make sense to pit in. He did pit in earlier, though. This might be for tires to try to make a difference. Brian Morrison, though, is going to be the one to stay out in that number 6 machine. I wonder what that's going to mean for him, as so many people now in the pits. Are they going to be able to keep up? Not are they going to be able to keep up. We're under caution. They're going to absolutely catch up. Is he going to be able to fend off everyone else that comes in? It looks like he's having a bit of popping in too. That's going to cause some issues. So we can see here, if I bring up the stint panel, he already had a pit stop, so he's going to be on 11 lap old tires because he pitted in earlier. So he should be okay on fuel if he took any, although it was a bit early. He might, I'm not sure, because Stephen Black right there, he comes back into second place now. He's going to be on completely fresh tires. I think in these opening laps, we're going to see once the caution goes back out and we go to green, we're going to see that at first we're going to have Brian Morrison able to keep up pace, but then as the night goes on, Stephen Black is going to be able to come out and really take away those positions. A lot of these guys are running on a bit older tires. A lot of the ones that were in that second pack have chosen to stay out and not go into the pits to make sure that they can get a bit more pace. Now, with Michael Kenzel here, you can see that he's now up into third position. That is quite a jump that he had before. So I think he's going to be in a good spot, especially if you can push someone like Brian Morrison, who's going to also be in a similar spot for tires. Stephen Black, though, with those new tires, I'm not sure. The number 25, looks like he has his damage. He did not come into pit. He may be up in fourth, but he's probably damaged not only the engine, but obviously the aero, which is going to make things difficult. Well, with the lights on the pace car are off, and we're on lap number 21 of 100 here at the CASCAR 250, presented by Black Designs. I really think it's going to be interesting. Always a little bit dry when there's just not enough going on under these cautions, but we're going to get back to racing quite soon. The CASCAR 250 is sponsored by Black Designs. Make sure you check Stephen Black out. He's going to be in that Raise Energy Toyota Camry. Send him a DM afterwards if you really want to get a fantastic paint or any other graphic that you need. Brian Morrison is the one to watch, starting from first position. Will he be able to hold off Stephen Black? The pace car is off. Green flag, and away we go here at Daytona once more. Stephen Black gets off to a pretty good start, but it looks like he's absolutely clear. He's going to have that bottom line if he wants it, but it looks like that 6 machine is going to still be there. Don't count him out yet. The number 25, it looks like I was a little bit wrong for now. Daniel Michael has enough pace, so he's going to have to watch those tires. The number 15, Michael Kenzel, gets off to a pretty rough start and does not have the pace to push. You come down the backstretch, you can see that Steven now moves down to the bottom line to make sure that he can keep up that defending position he's been using. Here they are now, coming into the trial. You can see the 25 looking for a little bit of gap, but he does not quite have it. I think he's a little bit slow, but there he is. That's going to be the number 6 now of Brant Morrison, going to the outside, getting pushed by Wes Gallo now in the 07. There he is. You can see that 07 there. And the 55 of Jeffrey Belk. They're going to try to push him a little bit more. Steven looks like he's okay, but it looks like Daniel Michael is going to be bobbing just a little bit there. Down to 2. You can see that Highline was having a lot of issues with pace. I don't think they can keep up. That bottom lane is just a bit too quick for them as we continue to roll into the evening here at Daytona. Almost a quarter way into this race. We're so close. What an interesting race it's been so far. We've already had 2 cautions. And a lot of these guys are just struggling. That number 15, though, after his not so great start, has gotten himself up into a great spot. Approaching, here we are, 1/4. That's Steven Black. He's going to get that another lap led. 25, Daniel Michael. Not sure if he can keep up with it. There he is. That's the 06 now. Coming down. I don't know if he's going to try to send it 3 wide. He clearly has a bit more pace than that 25, but doesn't quite have the line to hold it with. You can see him bobbing and weaving there. Bit dangerous. You don't really want to do that. He's looks like he's going to be choosing to be the pusher rather than getting pushed by the 07. There they go, going by once more. Gotta love it. Riding on board now, Michael Kenzel, sorry. As we now go into the travel, you can see what these guys go through. That banking, 31 degrees. Absolutely insane. This track has been here since 1959. Phenomenal that NASCAR keeps coming back here every year. Obviously, it's a sport. 500 got a little bit rain delayed today, which is unfortunate. Here they are coming through. That's the number 98 is Steven Black, continuing to lead this race in that Toyota Camry of his. You can see him there, run a little bit 3 wide in the back there. Let's see if we can finally back to 2. You don't want to stay 3 wide for long. It can cause a lot of issues. Obviously, one of the things you need to be concerned about when you're racing with iRacing is your connection to the servers, but also the weather. A lot of the northeastern area is getting a huge snowstorm. If all of a sudden the storm picks up, these guys are going to be the ones that suffer, because their connection won't be as good, and it causes them to netcode, as we saw earlier, causing that spin to be a lot worse than it probably should have. Steven Black now starting to absolutely run away with it. Here's a bit of a run. 25, though, of Daniel Michael is going to be continuing to ride there, though. Even though he has damage, he's getting pushed by the 06. I keep saying 06, by the 6 of Brian Morrison. Jeffrey Belt, your winner, not only of Heat 2, but the shootout. He's trying to make things interesting as well. See a lot of guys towards the rear. They're able to keep it a lot more single file, so they can almost freight train themselves, try to get back up to the front. Riding in the rear there causes a lot of issues later down the line if you're a bit too far back. Thankfully, we do not have a lot of people lap down. The only person we have lap down is Matthew Malvania, and that was a pretty unfortunate error he was involved in earlier, so I'm not surprised. Looks like the 15 comes off. He really wants to let people by. Does not want to deal with that one. That's a choice to make. I'm not sure if I would have made it myself. Wes Gallo, though, is going to be now up into 4th position on that outside lane, pushing the 25. Remember to check out Black Designs. Stephen Black, who's currently leading this race, has done a ton of these nice looking paint schemes in this field. So if you need your paint scheme to look good, or any kind of graphic for that is, make sure you check out Stephen Black with Black Designs. Uh-oh, looks like the 07 there has a bit of a bobble. That's going to slow up the outside lane a little bit more. These guys are just not able to keep up with Steven. Keeping a consistent line is another thing that helps a lot. That is something a lot of people are going to have to be considerate of. If you wave just a bit too much, it can absolutely screw you over. While we have the time, why don't we check out the gap between the 6 here and Steven. You can see that Steven's I rating is in the 4,000s. While Brian Morrison's over here is in the 1,800 range. Still better than mine. Don't worry about it. Still, right behind Steven. You can see that these guys are clearly skilled. Although, it looks like Morrison's a bit faster. Ever so slightly. 0.05 faster. But he's also getting a push from behind and has draft in front. All this pack racing started in the late 80s after the untimely death that we had in 1987. Uh-oh. Brian Morrison got spun off into the infield. He was able to safely rejoin. Unfortunate. I think it might have given him an unsafe penalty there. If so, that's going to be one that's going to be dangerous. He, unfortunately, was spun down there. Out of his control. Well, as I am chatting up over here, the 82 of Clint Mata gets himself now into the lead. He was able to get by Stephen Black, but Stephen Black does have that inside line, which is not enough. Black is just so fast here. Friday end, though, looking like in that 81 machine, if he really wants to step it up once more. We saw him fast in the heats. We saw him fast earlier. If we got caught up in an unfortunate wreck, he's going to be moving here. Running 3 wide there in the back. That's a spin with the 52. Don Ashton just got spun out. He's returning onto the field. That is a huge wreck just waiting to happen. It looks like they're able to avoid it. Skim there. Caution is out for that one. Unfortunate wreck. You saw that. Don Ashton just got spun out when they were running 3 wide in the trial over there. Wow. What a wreck that was. Alright, give me a second and we can get a good wreckage replay. Alright, so make sure you keep your eye when I bring up the screen here. Keep your eye on that number 52 machine. That's Don Ashton, who sadly disconnected after that unfortunate wreck. You can see him right there shooting up on the inside. It comes down just a little bit and clips that one, which spins him out, causes the one to get up, and then he goes into the turn number 1, which, oh man, it's very lucky he didn't get doored by someone going up there, but it looks like the 86 and Michael Jennings had to just give him a little bit of a tap there. Unfortunate. What a wreck to be involved in. That just, it sucks that it has to happen. But that is nature of the beast here with super speedway racing. It is something that as a driver you have to be prepared for. And sadly it happens. Super speedway racing, that's why a lot of people don't like it, is that kind of stuff happens. It's unfortunate, but it's true. If we come back in here now, you can see that Stephen Black is going to be coming into the pits once more on lap number 33-100. I think he really has seen that coming into the pits all these times with his pit strategy has been able to keep him out front. He's clearly got the speed to do it. So if it's working in his favor, clearly he's doing something else right. Number 5 of Kevin Bullock. We haven't seen him in a while. He's up into the lead now. Good to see you, Kevin. Let's get a little bit closer on his car there. So he is in that number 5 machine. Nation's Guard away. Check out his stints, though. Looking at that, it looks like he's currently on 14-lap-old tires. That is a choice to make, as Greg behind him is on 3-lap-old tires. That's a choice, Kevin. I think we're going to see that if there was a good pit stop done by a lot of the people we saw earlier, that it's going to be a little bit more challenging to keep that lead, unfortunately, in his case. Now, because these caution laps are so long, I hate to do this, but I have to cut to commercial break. I'll be back later. Stick around. All right, you find us here, about to go green here at Daytona. I think these guys are absolutely ready to go. Kevin will be your race leader starting on the inside lane. Front row with Greg on his outside. We've seen Greg absolutely dominate here at Daytona last week. It was a shootout until he got unfortunately caught up in that wreck. I think we're going to really see how the difference is now when he's going to be running up front on a lot fresher tires than everyone else. Pace car's off. And there it is. That is the green flag here at Daytona once more. A lot of shuffling there. You can see back in the rear, these guys are absolutely having a race. It looks like Greg is off to a little bit more of a start than if you'd like. That outside lane struggles so much here in starts. It's only throughout the build-up that we see it really start to succeed. Look at that. Look at these cars all just soaring by. Kevin continues to lead here at Daytona. That is going to be the 82 of Clint Mata behind him. Now these guys are really working together. Clint has been running so much up here in the front, but he's had just so many issues, unfortunately getting caught up in that wreck earlier on, or just people just shutting him out of the way. If he can work with Kevin, I think these guys are really going to take off. Jeffrey Belk, though, is coming up there. That's someone through the infield. That's number 15 once more. I swear, he just keeps getting punched into the infield every other lap. You can see that number 55 Camry is now going to be running in third position, holding up that inside lane. Doing a little bit of a block out there. You can see that outside lane is just so far back. Those guys do not have the pace to keep up. Brian Fradian is going to be there in the number 81. He's going to be holding up that inside lane now, keeping Wes Gallo behind and Greg on the outside. Looks like a couple more people have joined up to the outside lane to try to give him some push, but it is not working quite so well in their favor as much as I think it would like to. Something's got to be considered, though. just ready to go. Holding up the lanes pretty well. That's Stephen Black, you can see back there. It looks like his pit stop was not quite as good as I think he wanted it to be compared to last time, but it did not work out in his favor. You can see Brian Fredians there. His iRacing information there. Started 26, up into 4th. What a move. Honestly, if that's not a power move, I don't know what is. That's another driver off into the inside lane. What is up with that? I think people just keep getting shoved down there. That is unfortunate. You can see the fastest laps here. Currently, Brian's fastest lap is a 44.985. That's pretty damn quick. Draft here is quite good for these guys. Bit of a bobble there out of the 41. Richard Drake, Rational Richard Drake, I should say. He's able to hold it out quite well. So far, he's been a little bit unfortunate with the stuff he's caught up in, but Drake has been able to catch up a lot. And is now going to be able to really put some pressure on Greg, especially. They're one of the few in the outside lane, and they really do need to get a move on as they just keep finding themselves almost going backwards. I think Greg might be able to get a bit of a run, though, down this backstretch if he gets a good push. The 82 looked like he wanted to go to the outside, but did not quite have the pace to do it. If this is going to be their time to shine, it better be now. Little bit of a lift there. You don't want to get too much of an accident there. That's Greg, though, having a lot more pace. He's finally able to build up that speed that he's been looking for this entire time. Good push out of Rational Richard Drake, putting them up into a competitive spot now in the outside lane. Who's going to get that spot? If Greg is able to give him a push, that is, unless Richard wants to send it 3 wide around his outside, they might be able to do it. Because by way, absolutely moving, going over 200 miles an hour. They are just regular. Gotta love that shot right there. The gopher shots there was fantastic. You can see him there a little bit close there. I would not want to be in that car. You can just throw a blanket over him. How close they are all running together. That's Greg, though. He gets a lead there for a bit of a second. I wonder if he's going to be able to hold it as they come to the line. Greg gets that lap left. With that lap led now, I think that's going to get him in a good spot to keep going. If he can hold up the pace, he's absolutely going to be able to do it. You can see the number 5 there. Now, as they run down the backstretch, it's a way bigger run. They're able to really maintain that gap now. They run through continuously. That's Greg, though. I think he's able to keep up his pace. They're going to be coming up to a lap cross. I believe that's a Nick, if I'm not mistaken, who has fallen quite back after an unfortunate accident. There's the 5 there. Able to maintain that gap. Looks like the 82 waves a little bit. Greg backs off just a tad. That's Jeffrey Belk now in the 3rd position. I really don't think this is working out in the favor they want it to. The 84, that's a Hunter, unfortunately, who has to go to the back now, which is that unfortunate accident cost. And you can see his front end is just entirely missing. Looks like Richard Drake has decided that he no longer wants to stick with Greg and is now going to be riding that bottom line. We've seen that bottom line essentially freight train everyone before. It's going to do it again. Hop on board as much as you can, guys. Stephen Black has to choose. They go 3 wide. There it is. That's another caution that's going to be coming out. Just got the edge of it in the screen. We're going to have to take a look at that one for sure. What a wreck that one was. I think we saw a lot of people called up in that. Give me a second, and I'm going to go rep it so we can watch that wreckage replay. All right, so we're going to be following along with Steven here. So we come now into here. Looks like he's going to be splitting it 3 wide. Does find the 44, comes down, clips, and just sends everybody spinning. I believe that was Jackson Qualley. They got spun the worst it was. Unfortunate. Looks like his car was able to be survived, though. And I imagine he has a faster pair left to use so that they can keep racing here in the 250 miles of Daytona. Looks like he doesn't have enough pace to get around Patrick there. Unfortunate wreck to be caught up in. The number 5 of Kevin continues to maintain the lead. Now, he has the 82 behind him. Clint Mata, are they going to be able to keep up this kind of pace they've been having so far? We're approaching the halfway mark here at Daytona. I don't know if they can keep up with it. You know, he hasn't pitted. He's having a bit of a struggle maintaining pace sometimes. Obviously, it was Greg that was struggling a lot more with that pace there. I'm not sure. I think it's going to absolutely be something to watch out for. Oh, there he is. As soon as I say that, he comes into the pits. It looks like everybody's coming into the pits now, too. I imagine all for tires and fuel as well. So who's going to be taking 2 and who's going to be taking 4? That is an important question to ask. Is if you are taking a certain amount more than another, it might make a difference. Those right side tires, I imagine, are going to be ate up a bit more than your lefts. Now, it's usually the other way around, but I do think it might be an issue that we're going to be seeing. We see some support in the chat for the number 39, Brandon Fiedler. Fantastic. It's great to see it. Everyone getting the support they need. If you have your favorite driver and you're in our chat here tonight, make sure you call them out. Make sure they get the support they need to see if they can come up and win this race. A lot of our drivers leaving pit or lane now. So all of them are coming in to get into a good spot. Following up with the number 6 of Brian Morrison. We've seen him do pretty well so far in this race. He's been able to stick up for the front for a lot of it. He's going to be currently running in 6th position, matching the number 6 on his car. After that wreck, it looks like Dean is still going to be in the pits, or Jackson, I think it is. And Jacob Waters is having a lot of damage there. He's going to have to limp it back into his pit stall, or he's going to be coming out with damage. Yeah, he's going to be coming out with damage in that Red Bull machine. That Red Bull number 14, he's currently riding in 23rd. For his first start at a super speedway, seen a lot worse. Greg is currently now running in 8th position, that number 22. Looks like he is holding himself up quite well. He just has to make sure that he can get into a good spot later. All right, Richard Drake started on pole, back into 1st position, got a great pit stop. This man is going to be leading your race when we come back to green. Thank you everyone that has commented, followed, and everything else. I do appreciate it. I think it's going to make all of our community that much better for CASCAR out here. Now, I did make a promise I'm going to have to keep up as soon as I get the chance after this race. I believe I said once I get 35 followers, I'm going to be doing a partial face cam of when I do interviews. That is gonna... Oh boy. Alright, well, we're coming now to the pace car coming off. There it is. Here we are at Daytona. Green flag. I see you guys in the chat giving your support to your drivers. Good on you. I hope they do well for you. Rational Richard Drake off to a fantastic start. Looks like he launched a lot better than that 81 on his outside. He's going to want to use that to his use. 82 though. Clint Mata is going to be absolutely pushing. Look at them. All the way running through. You can see them there as they spread out down the backstretch. These guys are absolutely going to have to push it. Looks like Jacob Waters is having a bit of issues keeping up pace there. Even with some of the damaged cars, he's able to be a little bit faster. Alright, well, we're about to enter lap number 49 of 100 at Daytona. What an accomplishment these guys have gone so far. It's been... There it is. It's almost going to be... We're one lap away from 125 miles. Actually, 225 if we count the heat races. So... These guys are absolutely moving. Rational Richard Drake having a little bit of issues. That's number 5. Kevin Bullock on his outside moving. This guy is absolutely not going to give up his positions. 6. Brian Morrison going to be pushing that 5 to the best of his ability. Now the 82 has to pick. Is he going to push the 5 or everyone else like he has been? Or is he going to stick with Richard Drake who might give him the chance he needs? We see that number 25 there. Daniel Michael coming back up. Still got that damage from earlier on. This man, even with his damage, has been doing fantastic, keeping himself into a good position. Good on him. Sometimes keeping up a car that's damaged is really difficult, especially with temperature management or draft. If he can keep it up, he's going to get a great finish. Potentially even a top 10, looking at what we go on. So here we are in lap number 50 here at Daytona. As soon as we cross that line, we're going to be at the halfway point. Running down the backstretch once more. You can see all these guys. Look at them. They are still moving. The 82, though, Clint Mata now up into first, although Richard Drake on that bottom is going to take it away. As we come down through the tri-oval, though, it looks like they're a lot more evenly matched than before until we get to that angle where we see Richard Drake has absolutely stolen that lap away. There it is. We're halfway through the 250 miles of Daytona with the CASCAR 250. We've seen a lot of wrecks, we've seen a lot of great racing, phenomenal passes, and the guys up front keeping it interesting. I can only imagine what's in store for the next half of this race. Thank you to everyone that's coming out. I do appreciate it. It is a fantastic time for all of you to join in as we can see our top 3 here coming in to cross the line once more into the trial. See all these guys out there. They're actually keeping it quite clean so far. Stephen Black, you can see him in his bright yellow car back there, is trying to make some moves to get himself back up to the front. He was leading a lot of laps earlier on in this race, but has been struggling once he had this not so great pit stop. Very few people laps down. It looks like Jackson Qualley or Dean, whoever was running on that account, sadly disconnected, so they're now 6 down. And the next person that's still in is Nick, who's 13 down, but that is due to a lot of damage. So everyone else that is actually in contention is all on the lead lap. That's interesting. Usually you don't see that into this far into a Daytona race. These guys are absolutely phenomenal at keeping their cars running. Bit of some weaving there we saw out of the 25 as he moves up to the outside lane. That's a choice. I don't know if he wants to be the one in the lead car in that place with his damage. It might be slowing the outside lane up, but we've seen so far that outside lane, not only does it get huge runs, it also has huge lows where it just slows down a lot. It depends on who's pushing and where. It looks like right now, these guys are getting a run. Richard Drake, though, now that he's gotten himself out front, is doing phenomenally. He got pole. He's been able to keep up this pace. If he's going to be one to hold out to the win, I think it's going to be Richard Drake. As usual, he's running his tribute car. One of the only Canadians to win in NASCAR. Good for him. It's always good to see. The 82, Clint Mata. We've seen him out front literally the entire race. I don't think there's been a point where I haven't really seen him out front unless he got further back at one point. Otherwise, he's been up there. That's Stephen Black, though, setting it 3 wide now, seeing if he can make it up. I don't know if you'd want to do that with the 6 popping in and out like that, but it looks like it's working out in his favor as they're now back to 2 wide, and Stephen Black has made moves from 11th to 5th. What a jump. Entering back into the tri-oval once more. You can see all these guys doing really well holding it. Stephen Black playing the long game here. Pitted a bunch of times, a lot more than other drivers. I think he's going to be set when it comes down to it on fuel and tires, though. Everyone else is going to be struggling a little bit more towards the end, maybe trying to make it a fuel mileage race, while Stephen, on the other hand, if there's another caution, I can almost guarantee him on pitting him. Trying to make sure he gets that good strategy in. Now, the one great part that I've seen about CASCAR football compared to all the other leagues I've been in is these guys respect for each other. I do not see these guys bumping and banging all the time just because they can. Is it there? Absolutely. You know, who doesn't want to do some beating and banging at a super speedway? But understanding that you have a long race and you want to make it to the end, you got to do it. You can't just be willy-nilly the entire time. So these guys right now, as you can see, are really holding it together, which is what causing them to really go so far so fast. Honestly, at this point, I'd say this is probably more interesting than the actual Daytona 500. We've seen that one have a lot of issues in the past. Package is not quite as good as the iRacing one, even though the iRacing one is not great to itself. Looks like we're having some connection issues once more with the 6 of... Oh, goodness. Brian Morrison. That's going to be something to keep an eye on. Like I said earlier with the weather, you got to watch it. He might be going through a snowstorm. Honestly, as they're going 3 wide now into there. I don't know. That's something I want to do. Stephen Black is making some moves. He's trying to really see if he can push it to the outside. Not quite. The 82, Clint Mata, is not going to take it as he leads that outside lane aside from the one car in front of him, Daniel Michael. Going back a little bit more to steady racing. They saw the issues they were going to have. If they kept going like that, they were going to get a lot of issues. So they kept it safe. Good choice by them to really keep these laps coming. Even though it's Daytona and the laps take, let's say, about 40 seconds each, it's still something you really do want to make sure keeps ticking down. 4 cautions. It may not seem like a lot out at this point because I'm pretty sure most Daytona races from other places have way more at this point. Still, Patrick Lucio goes into the pits, though. I think he might have some damage. There he is. That's that rational Ricky Big. It's cool as he holds his line beautifully, keeping up through the backstretch. Each corner, I see him. Each and every time as they go beating and banging back there. Don't make me compliment you guys and then contradict myself, please. He's able to hold his line. You can see through these corners. He's a lot more stable than everyone else, and I think it has to do a lot with his patience and knowing what his car is doing. He knows that if he plays the long game, he's going to get himself into a good spot. He knows that by getting super close to that 25, trying to spoil the draft or whatever it does, I don't know if it works quite the same way it does on iRacing, it won't work in his favor. He wants to make sure he can keep these positions coming. You can stay clean, you're almost a lot more guaranteed to win compared to a lot of other tracks. Same kind of concept at Bristol. You're going to see that later in the series, where at Bristol, it's a track that you really are going to want to make sure you stay out of wrecks more than you do that you're out front. At Homestead, it's going to be a lot different. If you're out front, you're going to want to try to run away with it the most you can rather than get in this draft. Drafting at Homestead does not really work compared to it does here at a super speedway. It's a lot more of a skill-based track compared to a drafting skill track. Stephen Black, though, we've seen him come from a lot further back and is now up into 5th position still. It looks like he's going to be playing the long game now, not trying to get up too racy. That 25, though, we've seen him, Daniel Michael, cause a bit of issues, though. Looks like he's going to be one to try to keep it clean the best he can. Patrick is going to be down low. A lot of drivers have to make sure that they pass him carefully. Unfortunately, we've seen Patrick do really well so far, but it happens. It's Super Speedway. Looks like with that incident, Jacob Waters is now going to be laps down. Unfortunate. Kind of hate it when these guys have to go laps down just because it's the nature of the beast. We head more into the sunset time at Daytona. Lap number 61 here of 100 with the CASCAR 250 sponsored by Black Designs. Make sure you check out Stephen Black. The guy who's running the shed with that bright yellow paint. He's going to be the guy to check out. He makes all these great graphics that you see, like that CASCAR 250 logo you see in the bottom right hand corner. He made that, but he's also made just about every scheme you can see out here in the field. Here I am rambling on as Daniel Michael's gotten himself into the lead. Richard Drake now going to be in second place. It looks like they're going to try to keep it clean, though. I agree. Jazzy, man. Just, me too. Looks like we have someone now going into the infield. That's going to be an issue. Find to the back. A lot of these guys are a little bit more wavy now. That outside lane has gotten completely broken. That inside lane is essentially the only thing that exists at the moment. You can see at the rear, there's a little bit more of one formed. There it is. They're a bit more straight out now. Only 4 guys. Unfortunate. Keeping up that outside lane is going to be difficult. There it is. You can see that freight train now of an inside lane. The 82. Clint Mata is going to be leading that as he gets another lap led that we saw earlier. Good for him. He's been having a lot of patience. Stephen Black, though, up into second position. That's going to be one to watch. See that 82 there in this Jelly Belly machine. Gotta love it. Stephen Black now going to be pushing against him. Does Stephen just choose to push him or go to the high side? Looks like he's going to bump draft him for now. If Stephen wants to play the long game, like I'd been saying he might want to, it's the right choice to make. Thank you to everyone that's held out for so far. I know it's a little bit dry as we get further into this race as we enter lap number 64 of 100. I've been streaming for 2 hours. A bit longer than usual. That's number 5 that was spun. That's... Oh no. Oh, that's a huge wreck we see in the back row. That's a lot of guys getting caught up in that. Although it looks like Irish, there's going to be no caution for the moment, though. Even though the number 5 of Kevin Bullock got absolutely destroyed from that. Unfortunate. Oh, caution comes out now. I agree, Jacob. Worn tires making you spin. They do it. As we are now under caution once more. Give me a second and I'll be right back to go see what caused out that caution completely. Alright, you join me back here. We can see what really brought out this caution. Here we are. You can see we're currently following along with the number 5 of Kevin right there. Let's see what happens. Comes down, looks like the 28 comes up, just clips him, spins him, and it causes a big check up there. Some people to get doored, and then it causes a lot more spins, which is really unfortunate to see. A lot of these guys just having a bit more issues, trying to keep it clean. some guys in the wall. You hate to see it. That's exactly what you kind of have to come to expect here at a super speedway. Kevin is now going to be running a bit more towards the rear after that one. I think he might have gotten an unsafe pit entrance, but pit exit maybe, just because he clipped the thing, but I saw that got cleared. So unfortunate. You hate to see it, but it's super speedway. Still, these guys have been handling it phenomenally, getting up to this far in the race. Lap number 65 of 100 at Daytona with only 5 cautions. That's an accomplishment. Well, as I said before, Stephen Black was going to come into the pits. He did. Shocker. So now Stephen Black is going to be the leader on lap number 66 here of 100. I was on the wrong person when Stephen crossed the line. So with that, does Stephen Black, now that he's in first, is he going to try to make it to the end of this race without pitting? Comment what you think your idea is going to be for him. I'm not really sure. Honestly, a lot could happen, and it's really important to really see what's going to be happening next. Like I said before, I do appreciate everyone coming out here. Oh, it's a bit long of a race, but these guys are doing great. All right. Well, the guys are pacing for the moment. I'm going to take a break, and I'll be back in just a little bit. All right, you join me back here. We're about to go green here at Daytona once more. Let's go. Let's get that in-game camera so we can get ready to go. Stephen Black is going to be your leader with Clint Mudd on the outside. I think that's going to make for quite a start we're going to get. These two have been very competitive all the race so far. So I really think that's something we're going to want to watch. As we come down now into the tri-oval. Pace car is off. There it is, a green flag, and away we go here at Daytona once more. Stephen Black is off to a really good start. Clint Mudd a little bit struggling now. I think that's going to make things quite interesting, as now I think these guys are going to have to fight for it. Rational Richard Drake up into second position now. He's able to edge out Clint there, getting that second position now. We see that number 25 once more. Daniel Michael able to be competitive. I see your chat there about the 39 of Brandon Fiedler. I'll give him a little bit of screen time here. If everyone wants to cheer him on, maybe it will give him a little bit more speed, but he's currently running at the moment in 16th place. He's doing good. Anyways, up in front, we see the number 98 as Stephen Black is continuing to lead, though. That number 82, Clint Mudd, is now on the outside. These guys are very competitive up and close. We see Jeffrey Bell, winner of that second heat race and the winner of the shootout, now up into fourth. Looks like he's going to get himself up into third now. If he can continue to push Clint, that's going to get him up to second maybe. We see these guys continuing to run. They're very good at this. We see your top five, shouldn't even say top five, your top six. These guys have been running up here essentially the entire time. Michael Jennings, though, we have not seen him essentially at all. But there he is, the 86, Michael Jennings. He's up with us. I'm sure that Michael Jennings Racing, or I think it's Jennings Racing, I'm sure his team is going to be helping him out as much as possible now that he is up there. We see a lot of guys we haven't seen up here so far. Kyle Mundo, we haven't really seen him up in the front much. I think we did once earlier. It's good to see, though. A lot of these guys are now getting to the front that have not been up here, except for your top six who have been up here the entire time. Except for Richard Drake, who decided to come up in the last couple laps. All right, we come to the Tri-Oval once more. Here we go. So great. I haven't talked about how much I love the engine sounds in a while, so good. Well, I think this is the point in the broadcast where I know that they do this in PLF and they do it in the NASCAR series too. I think this is where I have to say, let's crank it up and let me be quiet. Alright, I think I should start talking again so I don't get too much in a spot where it's essentially just me leaving the camera running. In any case, we see these guys doing super well. Stephen Black continues to lead now. Clint Mata is going to be in second position on that bottom line. Jeffrey Belk on the outside. Is EG Racing going to be one to try to edit out over cycling? I think we're going to have to see as we continue to run through Rational Richard Jake there. His number 41 machine. You've seen him up there the entire time. The top five now. One's playing a little bit more than usual. Jennings looks like he's going to be heading up that not quite second pack yet. I think if they get a little bit more space, it really will be a second pack. I think if Jennings can get someone behind him that not have as much damage, he might be able to get just enough of a push if he can keep their draft to get him up. Because right now it's that top five that are the ones rolling. The backstretch, though, I believe it's with 2 degrees of banking. There's something to watch out for. Hi there, Marshall. How's it going? We're here with CASCAR, the 250, coming in to lap number 75. As soon as we finish lap number 75, we'll be 3/4 of the way through this race. Sponsored by Black Designs. Make sure you check out Stephen Black, who's currently falling a little bit back now. He's going to be running in 4th. I was saying before that Jennings needed someone to really catch up with him to get up with that main pack, but it looks like they're going to slow down instead. Here they are back now into the backstretch. Clint Mata able to maintain that lead. He's been doing a fantastic job about balancing that, able to push people that are in front of him, not get too aggressive, and able to keep it. Although, that's Richard Drake on his outside, who's also been very rational this entire time. Bit of a wave of the 25 there. going to want to be careful. All right, there it is. That is 3/4 of the race all the way through. 5 cautions only this far. That's very impressive out of these guys. Couldn't believe it. These guys are doing bit of a wave there out of the 25 once again. We see that every now and then he's able to hold it really well, and then a bit of a wave. Looks like the number 41 is going to keep that bottom lane now. Stephen Black pushed him a bit. Stephen, he's trying to play that long game. That won't last too much longer. Or he's kind of content now getting that podium finish if he can get it. You wouldn't think about it, but honestly, 20 laps at Daytona can make a huge difference. This entire field right now could be completely changed 2 laps from now. That's someone off into the infield. That's Matthew once again cutting through the infield. A little bit of a wave. They push it 3 wide. There's a tiny tap and shows it back a little bit further. These guys are not only continue to be your leader. Look at these guys go. The number 25, even with his damage, he's been so good being able to maintain his pace up in the top 10. Not quite sure what he's doing to keep his pace so good, but I think I'm going to have to talk to him afterwards because I need those secrets myself, man. See a lot of these guys. That's Jeffrey Belk right there. Looks like he's going to be trying to put a little bit more pressure on to get himself into a good spot. You're going to see a lot more aggression coming up now. Looks like there's a gap there. Steven goes down. Is Steven going to try to split it 3 wide with the 2 guys that have been able to hold it this entire time? Not quite. He's going to be pushing that 82 of Clint instead. He's got... Oh, that's a spin now. Steven has spun him. Drake into the wall. That is the caution coming out. That's Drake now getting spun as well after that one. Oh, there it is. He just got rear-ended by the 2. That's his race. Not quite over, but definitely hurt. Give me a second and we can take a look at that in a bit better of a camera angle. Alright, we're going to be using this far chase cam to really see what's going on here as we go back into the end game. So we're following right now with Stephen Black as he's following the number 82. Stephen coming up, pushing him, goes down low. 82 is not clear and he came down just a bit. Stephen gets a little bit loose, is able to hold it. Looks like 41 checks up a lot, causes a big spin. Everyone else gets caught up behind. Unfortunate. You hate to see it, but as I've said many times earlier, that's super speedway racing for you. All right, well, my premonition was right a little bit earlier. Let me get that screen open so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Stephen Black comes into the pits once more. Man has had a pit strategy this entire time, even if we haven't known it. He knows what he's doing. I'm not quite sure what his entire plan is, but he clearly has something planned. And I think with his pit stop now, he's going to be put into a fantastic spot, which is going to be putting him potentially in the top 10. But you can see a lot of these guys now are leaving the pits. All these guys are going to be on fresh tires. Just because Steven's fast doesn't mean he's going to be faster than absolutely everyone in front of him. Brian Morrison is going to be your leader now, leaving the pits. Tyler Hallahan, who we haven't seen a lot of throughout this race. He's been running a lot in the rear with his BTT Camaro. Has decided that, you know what, now is the time that I want to be in front after a good pit stop, which put him in a great spot. Daniel Michael is also going to be put into a good spot too. We see here Brian as well. These guys are really coming out. And Greg, we haven't seen him up in the top 10 for a while as well, is now up in 5th position. 6th, actually. But still, that's a great place to be behind Paul Lens. These guys have been absolutely able to hold it for so long. It's 80 laps. We're about to enter lap 81 as soon as Brian Morrison crosses the line. It's been quite a race so far. They've been doing good. I honestly can't really say much more than that, and these guys have absolutely been doing it. Lights on the pace car are off. Give me a couple minutes. I shouldn't say a couple minutes. Give me a minute, and I'll be right back. Not much of this race left to go. We are about to go green once more here at Daytona to finally finish out this race. Lap number 81 of 100. About to enter lap number 82 as the pace car comes off.
Green flag.
There it is. We go green once more here at Daytona. Looks like that 88 of Tyler Hallahan. As Greg said in the last stream, Tyler is a weapon. They go 3 wide. It looks like the 6 is absolutely just rolling backwards. Does not have the pace to keep up. Tyler gets a fantastic start and is now going to be the one in the lead. The 81, though, Brian Fratani, is going to completely try his best to shut him down. They go 3 wide there. You can see the number 25 picking up pace. The 88 does not have the speed. He sticks down low, does not want to cause trouble and not get himself into a situation where he can't get a good top 10. But now top 5. It's going to be Brian, Daniel, Wes, other Brian, and Hunter. These guys, we have not seen them this entire time except for that 25 of Daniel Michael. Wes Gallo as well, even though he's been running a little bit further back. They're going to be running away with it now. It's lap number 83. I think that these are going to be the ones, if they can hold it for the next laps, they're really going to be the ones to run away with it. They clearly have the speed that they have been holding off this entire time, and have gotten really fortunate to have just the speed at just the right time. That 84 of Hunter is absolutely going to try to do his best to keep it pushed on the outside lane. Jeffrey Belk overtakes the 6 of Brian Morrison. It's a fight here. You can see it. This outside lane, the 2 cars. It's the 55 and the 84. Looks like the 6 is coming out now to try to help push, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Your top 6 are going to be the ones. First place, Brian Fredien is going to be running away with it for the moment, unless that is going to be Wes Gallo, who's currently pushing. I think he's not going to try to overtake him that much. I think just pushing him to the win is going to be enough. That 25, though, Daniel Michael, he is the odd one out here, I think. He's the one you have to watch. as they come now into lap number 85 of 100 at Daytona. This has been the CASCAR 250, sponsored by Black Designs, presented by here on twitch.tv/4club. It's been a race. Thank you for everyone that's been able to stick out this entire time. I do appreciate it. I know it's been quite a but these guys are doing great, and I think that this might be one of the last runs to the finish. 6 cautions. Jacob Waters in the pits now. He must have come back out at some point. It's 27 laps down now. You see Wes Gallo there. He's getting a push from the 25. He has to be careful. He does not want to push Brian too much. Otherwise, that's going to cause some issues. You can see that rear, towards the rear a bit more, but even in the mid-pack on the outside lane, they had a huge wobble coming out of turn 4. Making sure these guys don't absolutely just obliterate themselves is very important here. You know, a lot of them do not have any fast repairs. A lot of them do not have much time damage. These ones cannot have another wreck from these. You know, a lot of them are already suffering from damage, and the ones that aren't are pretty close. Tyler Hallahan puts himself back up into first position, though. Huge run by the outside. Getting pushed by Greg. Look at that. It's the 2 guys that are together. I love that Tyler's description for trivia goes I race, as in I racing, out of Greg's basement. And there they go. The 2 working together. That's Tyler in first, Greg in second now. Are these going to be your surprise 1-2? They got to make up for the shootouts. They just have to. After the race they had then, where they got wrecked out super late and just got, I think it was like 5 laps out, they got to make it up. Looks like the 84 is going to be pushing Greg a little bit more. They throw a block. The 81 goes down below the double yellow. They're running 3 wide now. That's Jeffrey Belk in the middle. He's got to be careful. You got Steven on his outside in the 15. He's got to be careful. That's a bit of a squeeze. Oh, they're going to just barely hold it. Wow. That was close. Just any closer, they would have caught a huge wreck there. All right, that's Greg and Tyler paired up again. Can they push themselves up into a better position? The 84 and the 6 have to decide. Are they going to let that happen? We've seen the 84 out with so much damage this entire time. I think he waited to use that fast repair until he knew that he would be in a final contention spot. 6 cautions, 100 laps, 88 of them finished. It's been a race. Steven riding up that middle in the 3 wide. We see the 15 down low. Got to be careful. That squeeze again you see out of 4. They got to be careful of that. You can see at Daytona there's plenty of space for it. You just got to be mindful of all the internet issues that can happen, or people not able to hold their line. Look at all of them, all so close together. My graphics card is dying on the inside just a little bit more than usual. Oh, that's a bit of contact between the 88 and the 6 there. They got to be mindful as they keep running forward. If they take themselves up now, it's going to be an issue. They're trying to squeeze it. Is Tyler trying to squeeze by Greg? No, bump draft him instead. Hunter to the lead, the 88. 6 on his inside. They're running 3 wide through the corner. That's 6 down low. Takes out Tyler. Tyler comes up that. Oh, that's going to be the big one as the caution comes out once again to create caution number 7 here at Daytona. What an incident. Wow. That. Oh, I don't want to just say that happened, but that happened. Give me a second and we can get a better camera angle on that one. Alright, you can see it a little bit more clearly from this camera I have right here. Let me bring it open so you can see it. Alright, so we're going to be following along with the number 6 that reads right ahead of the number 25. They come into here. Looks like the 25 just ever so slightly clips him, causing everyone to just absolutely get caught up in that. Looks like Steven was able to avoid it somehow. As if it just magically provided a way open for him. He got through. Good for him. He was able to get it. All right, we jump back up into the actual lead for the moment. That's Greg, going to be leading this race. We have not seen him out front for a lot of it until just recently. Looks like now is going to be the time. If Greg can make a final dash to the finish, who only knows what can happen. There's going to be some lap cars passing around on the outside. So Jacob Waters getting some lap back. Been a while since we've seen him. We could do the series, but still. What a race this has been. Thank you everyone that's been coming out for me so far. I know I've said it like 4 times in the past 20 minutes, but I really do appreciate it. This has been a very long stream for me. Longer than normal, 2 hours and 40 minutes at this point. We're getting there. We're getting there. Wow. Greg pulling up alongside the pace car because apparently now's that time. Hunter is able to be a really big force now that he has a completely repaired car. We'll see if he's going to fight with Greg or if they're going to try to take it. Jeffrey Belk, though, he's also there too. And that's something they really have to consider because Jeffrey Belk has won the second heat race and he won the shootout. So if he can try to score another super speedway win, that is gonna, I think that's gonna be a super speedway list checked off. In any case, when we're about to go back to green, I'll be back. I'll leave the stream running. Thanks so much, guys. All right, we're here, about to finish up the last couple laps here at Daytona, the 250 miles we've had for the CASCAR 250. It's lap number 90. We're about to enter lap number 93. Not much left. 7 laps to go. It's going to be quite an ending. Pace car's off. All right, let's go. Green flag once more here at Daytona. Greg gets off to a pretty good start. Uh-oh. That's some popping issues. Uh-oh. Hopefully there won't be too many issues there. Jeffrey Belk up into second position. These guys are absolutely running for it. They do not want to give this up. Jeffrey Belk in second position. He's going to be hitting it. Brian Morrison up into third. Richard Drake in fifth. And you've got a lot of these top finishing guys that we've seen all up in competitive places. These guys are all going to want to fight for it. Greg, if he's popping in and out, that's going to cause some issues for him. He does not want to be in a spot that gets him in a bad place. You can see Belk right now, with these not many laps to go, he's going to be biding his time. He does not want to push too much, because if he pushes too much, we're going to get more cautions, which is only going to make the last couple laps even crazier. They race by once more. Looks like that bottom line is going to be the one that's secure, but the high line is going to be faster. They got to be concerned about that. The 84 is now clear. Not anymore, but he was clear. If he can maintain that kind of speed, I think that's going to be Hunter who's going to be able to get to the run. I don't know about anybody in the audience, but I got some tense nerves at the moment as we see our top 4 here all together. If this is going to be your top 3, man, is it going to be close. But you can see all the rest of them behind them. They're so close. That's going to be Greg getting that lap lead. Jeffrey's both behind him. Outside lane, just a little bit slower, but you can see Michael Jennings. He's coming up from the back. He's got some people with him. If they can get it, then they're going to be the ones to watch out for. So they're going to be splitting it. These guys have to be careful. They don't want to push too much with 5 to go. Remember, this has been the CASCAR 250, sponsored by Black Designs. Make sure you check out Stephen Black. He's currently running in 10th position. I don't see him on screen. Alright, here they are coming through 4. You can see them there. The 2 red cars, watch out for them. Alright, your top 4 now. All trying to run in single file, not causing any issues. That's a little bit of the bobble out of Greg. Alright, we're at 5 officially to go. God damn. Alright. Daniel Michael, the 25, still maintaining that 3rd place spot. He does not want to give that up. Look at them go. I honestly think this is the fastest they've gone all race. Now, the thing that I'm curious about is who might be low on fuel. That has to be the concern right now. If someone hasn't pitted recently, they're essentially out of the competition. Yes, I agree. Michael Jennings up now. He's going pretty quick. He's going to be drafting off that 34. We've seen him really quick. We haven't really seen him too much up in the front, but right now, this is going to be the time to push. He's going to take it. A little bit of a dip there. We see Tyler trying to draft a little bit more behind. Tyler got taken out a little bit earlier. I think Tyler might be a little bit upset over that one. Doesn't really matter. Alright, that's going to be number 15 going off to the bottom. Does not want to get in the way anymore. These guys are moving. That's Jennings up in the 4th position. Mundell into 3rd. These guys are not giving up these spots. 25 had to file a little bit back. He does not quite have the pace he did earlier. It's something to watch out for. Alright, that's going to be the 8 of Mark LaPierre. We have not seen him. He did great in the shootouts until he got taken out earlier on. But he is a pusher for speed. So if he can keep out this outside lane that actually wants to get speed, they're going to do good. But they only have 3 laps left to go. That's a spin by the 25. Oh, that's Stephen Black, too, getting taken out. That's your top 4 currently running away. Caution is still not out. These guys are going to run with it as much as they can. That is your top 4. There it is. There is the caution out. I'm not quite sure how many green white checkers there are. But wow, this race is going to be close. Wow, what a wreck we just, like, barely witnessed there at the end. These guys are all pushing each other so much. I'm not surprised. They have been biding their time. They have been racing for over 2.5 hours, almost 3 at this point. They want to get this race done. They want the victory. They want to claim the CASCAR 250. All right, give me a minute, and I'm going to go see that wreck when we're done, and I'll show it off to you guys. All right, I got a pretty good shot. I have to apologize for the little bit of, I think it's a God rays, we'll call it, from the sun coming onto the camera, so it does not look the greatest, but it'll have to do. So right now we're going to be following along with the number 25 there. I think the camera is currently set on Steven, but it'll work. So watch that 8 car. That is going to be the blue one. So it looks like 25 comes up a little bit, clips the 8. 8 comes down, causes everyone to spin out, and causes a huge wreck in the rear there. That is going to be an absolutely unfortunate one that puts a lot of people that were very competitive towards the rear. All right, you have your top 4. These guys are going to be the ones that are going to have to push it to the limit. These ones are absolutely going crazy. So we have 102 laps. That's probably an update to 103. 8 cautions out of this so far. That's actually quite good for a super speedway. Like I said earlier, these guys are usually pretty good at respecting each other and where they are, which does help out a lot. All right, so Greg, he's currently leading. He really wants to make up for his really bad finish during the shootouts when he got taken out and sadly had to go like 5 laps down. Jeffrey Belk, he won the second he also won the shootout. So getting another win for him, it's going to cross out his super speedway bucket list for now. Then behind him we have Kyle Mundell, who was not in the shootouts and did not do fantastically in the heats. So Kyle, I think this is going to be a spot of trying to prove yourself. Jennings, he was in the shootout, but we did not really see too much of him otherwise. Those are your top 4. And the problem is behind them, they also have Paul Ebbs and Hunter, who have been extremely competitive whenever they get towards the front. These guys need to be careful. With the lights out on the pace car, they're going to be going back to green very shortly and are going to have a dash for the finish. We've gone 250 miles. We're just a bit over. We're on lap 101, and we need to get to lap 103. See all these guys. You can see how beaten and banged all these cars are. They're full of rubber that's on the vehicles. They are just ready to end it. It won't be too much longer now, but it's gonna absolutely be something to watch. We've seen some fantastic racing all throughout tonight. It's been a great night. The weather has held up for these guys. No really big internet issues. They've held it together. I think my stream has not died multiple times. We're doing good. Thank you to Black Designs for being a gracious series sponsor, and thank you for CASCAR for letting me be your presenter here tonight. That is going to be the pace car off. Boogity boogity boys, let's go racing for the final, hopefully final, green flag here tonight at Daytona. That's Greg off to a pretty good start. Jeffrey Belk also looking quite quick in his Camry on his outside. It's 2 to go. 103 laps we're doing, and we're on the lap 102. Can we get through this lap without a caution? Greg is currently still leading. He's got a good person behind him. He's got that 34 of Kyle Mundell. Whenever he's been up here, he's been a good pusher. Can he keep pushing him? That's going to be Jeffrey Belk onto the outside, though. He does not have any help. Everyone is pushing that bottom lane. There's a bit of a wreck on the outside. It does not look terrible, but I think that is going to be... Yep, there it is. There's the caution out once more. Man, I was so hopeful. We almost got to the lap. Almost. That was going to be Marc Lapierre that we just saw getting turned towards the back there. But that is going to be a restructuring of your field, though. That's Jennings up into third, who's now going to be right behind Greg. So give me a second while I go grab a good image of that spin. All right, we have Mark LaPierre right here. We can see him right now. Let's get the camera open. There we go. So here he is. That's the blue 8 car right there, the Kenny Drugs. Let's see it. Looks like he holds up that outside line. 25 goes on his outside and just clips him. 25 is going to try to go through a gap that did not exist. It looks like Mark LaPierre just got completely spun around. And unfortunate. At least the caution was thrown to him, because that was not his fault. In any case, it's still going to be the caution out here. Jeffrey Belt coming into the pits. Let's see how this race goes for the rest of it. We're approaching hour number 3 to our stream here tonight. Greg continues to be the leader, as we've seen for the last handful of laps. He's been putting on a fantastic show. He has a lot of good people behind him that are going to challenge him not only for the win, but also might give him a good push too. It's been a great race, and I want to thank everyone out here for being out here tonight. It's a massive appreciation from me and from everyone else in the CASCAR community. Someone's taking the road course back there. Not quite sure why, but okay. Yeah, if you want to take the road course, that's your business, but taking the bus stop does not sound like the brightest of ideas for the moment, especially with how the cars have been handling, with how little grip they get. I think that was Sylvan that did that. Ah, look at that. No front bumper. Makes sense. Regardless, these guys are ready to go and get the job done. If you want to give some last lap hopes to everyone else, now is the time. Give a shout out to your favorite driver that you get for the last little bit, as we're going to have the last 2 laps, hopefully, unless we get another green-white checkered. And if we get another green-white checkered, that would be the final. It's still tense though. Just having all this stuff here. Okay, I turned off notifications or whatever. It's been such a race. These guys are so ready to just get it over with. Everyone has been so competitive, and they put on such a fantastic show tonight. They really have. New York Mets fan 92 says Jennings is a legend. Well, he's currently running a 3rd, so maybe he can legend himself up to a win. I think is that Jacob back there with the missing front end and just kind of vibing? I think it is. He's 9 laps down. He came back a lot of waves. But first time in the series, he's here. And I think if you can walk away with anything, he's not last. Okay, Wes Gallo has decided that he wants to turn left now. Out of nowhere. Anyway, we got Greg. On his outside is going to be Kyle. Behind him is Michael. And on Michael's outside is going to be Hunter. This is going to be a race to watch for the last bit. Please do not kill yourselves in the rear there, gentlemen. Pace car is off.
Green flag.
Here we are in green flag, and away we go. Hopefully for the last time, potentially not. I don't know. Let's see. Greg gets off to a pretty good start. That's going to be number 34, though, of Kyle Mundell on the outside, looking pretty competitive. Looks like Hunter comes down. That's going to be a clip. Can he hold it? Nope. Okay. They're gonna wreck again. All right. No caution, though. For the moment, the top 4. We're on the way. Oh, there it is. Sometimes I just shouldn't talk. All right, well, we open up another green-white checkered, and this is going to be the final green-white checkered. So if there's another caution, then it's going to be the finishing order as is. That's Jennings up into 2nd, though, I think, unless, yeah, that's Jennings up into 2nd. So, yeah, New York Mets fan 92, I think you might going to be able to get your wish of having some really competitive Michael Jennings racing. In any case, we're almost at the end here. A lot of these guys are just ready to bring it home. So it looks like your main competitors for the final are going to be obviously Greg. You got Jennings, Hunter, because I can't say his last name. Looks like Kyle Bullock has come back. Nice, good for him. He made it a lot of ways up. Looks good. He was a great contender early on, and it looks like he has a pretty good car in condition, so he's a contender too. And you got Paul Ems up there too. Stephen Black as well. Stephen Black's up there. I think a lot of these guys are ready to really kind of destroy anything they can, but it's going to be quite a race either way. Teammates second and third, yeah. Greg coming into pit. Okay, Hunter coming into pit too. All right. Looks like that's going to cause a change up now, as Jennings is going to be in the lead, but he is going to be on older tires. Does he think that in the last 2 laps it's going to be enough of a jump, or is he just going to park it? He might have ran out of fuel. In any case, there's a lot left to go. Honestly, just all in 2 laps can have so much here happen. We've seen that before with the 2 previous green-white checkers. Just too much has happened in such a short amount of time. It's going to be a finish either way. It looks like Paul is missing a hood, though. That's going to be causing some issues. Jennings looks in pretty good condition. Maybe a couple beat and bangs there. Same with Kevin. These guys, your front row, you're going to want to watch them. Stephen Black is going to be moving up in positions now that Greg has gone to the pits. That's going to put him into contention for the win, too. He's the sponsor for this series, and just because he's a sponsor doesn't mean to get a free pass for a win, but obviously we've seen him today. He's been so fast that it might just be enough to get him that win. See what's going on the outside, get his lap back. Sadly, Jeffrey Bell got caught up earlier on and has got himself moved to the rear of the field. That 5 Nations Guard machine is going to be very competitive. The Black Designs number 86. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a Valentine's Day. Daytona 500 got delayed. Had some other issues. It's been Valentine's Day. I hope everyone out there had a great Valentine's Day, and hope you wish your partner had a good time. Or if you're single Pringle, I hope you did okay. In any case, the lights on the pace car are off, and it's going to be the final dash for the finish. Whoever gets it is going to get it. We got a 3-hour stream we've just had. These guys have done fantastically. They're ready to go. Get it over. The cars, even though they're beaten up, look great. Greg is still in a competitive car. It looks like he just got everything fixed and he's in the rear. Hopefully he's going to have enough pace to catch up. Stephen Black into 4th. On the outside lane. He's got Richard behind him, though. Rational Richard Drake. Who knows? Our Black here is also back there a little bit. Had some damage, and I think he's lost his patience with a lot of people. He might just send it at some point. I hope everyone's had a great time I want to thank you all for watching, and make sure to check out Black Designs if you're not going to stick around for the post-race interviews. All right, here we go. Pace car is off. Boogity boogity boys, let's go racing for the final green flag run. Guaranteed. Here they go. That's Michael Jennings off to a great start on his outside. Is going to be the number 5 of Kyle Bullock. He gets an okay start. Stephen Black shooting it up. He really wants to get in that position. Stephen is now going to be bumping onto the back. Not really sure which line to pick. He chooses the bottom. He's going to be sticking with Jennings. Paul M's looking pretty good. Rational Richard Drake up in the 4th. He's making moves. Greg also making huge moves. Got from the back of that pack up into 5th. Is Greg going to have enough speed with his more repaired car to try to get by? Or is the more weight he's going to have not be enough? Looks like Jennings has just enough of everything to get himself into a great spot. That's a spin with Rational Richard Drake. That it is. There is the spin, and that is the caution. That is going to be your race. There's not going to be another green-white checkered. This is going to be your final finishing order right here. You're just going to bring it home. Jennings is going to take that spot. I think these top 3 might be racing just a little bit with each other, but bring her home, boys. What a race. Stephen Black is going to be getting 3rd position. Jennings is 1st, and Kevin Bullock gets 2nd. Great finish, guys. They did a great job. You're right. New York 1592, Jennings is a legend. He got it. If Greg didn't pit, Greg might have gotten it, but he might have been out of fuel too. What a finish. From all these ladies and gentlemen out here, thank you everyone for watching. It's been a race. I'm sorry we couldn't give you a very big final finish, but well, can't do much about that. Let's see him come around here onto the pace car to finish it up, to be satisfied with their final positions. Jeffrey Belk sadly has to get settled with the 10th place position, even though he was so competitive, not only in the shootout but the heats too. Unfortunate. Bad luck. Super Speedway. Everyone put on a great show. I think everyone's going to be satisfied with the positions they got. There's Brandon Fiedler getting spun out in the rear. All right. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, your checkered flag. It looks like, dude, pulling off, it looks like Stephen Black is going to be getting 2nd place, and Kevin Bullock is going to be getting 3rd. I will, I gotcha. I'll tell him. Thank you for all your chats. I do appreciate it. Thank you everyone that's commented as well. I really appreciate it. It gives me something to do other than just talk to myself for the past 3 hours. Alright. Now that they did it, they're going to go do some celebratory burnouts. I think it's time I get Kevin Bullock up in here. Kevin, this is an open the booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What a race you had. How do you feel about it?
I felt pretty good about it. I had gotten a couple wrecks there. Got the car back a-okay. It really wasn't fast enough though, but I'm happy with the top 3. I wasn't expecting that.
I mean, earlier in the race, you had such a great run in the middle section. You were leading almost every single lap.
Yeah. Like I said, this is the first time I've been in this league, and I just kind of feeling everybody out. So I felt like, I'd get up there and race a little bit. But oh no, man, it was a good race.
Absolutely, it was. I mean, you weren't the only rookie out there, but there wasn't a lot of you, and those of you that were usually did a pretty good job. So congratulations on getting that top 3.
I appreciate that, and I landed me a team on the team with the winner. So that's a plus.
Absolutely, it is. Is there anyone in the audience you want to thank tonight?
I appreciate these guys letting me come on board and getting in here and racing with them and seeing what this league's about, and looking forward to it. Gonna enjoy it.
All right,
And
that
I
sounds
appreciate your broadcasting.
I'm glad to do it. All right, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
All right, now it's time to get your second place finisher up here. Thank you very much to everyone that commented. Thank you for the compliment on the broadcast. I do appreciate it. Your second place finisher, Stephen Black. Gotta grab him. Where is he? Sorry, he likes to disappear on me all the time. Steven, it's no up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
So offended. Okay. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
You got yourself a top 3. You got second position. How do you feel?
Man, we ran up front a lot of the race. We got caught up in a couple of wrecks. We shouldn't have been able to run top 5 with all the damage we had, but the cautions kept coming, and I pitted on like lap 90, and it gave me enough fuel to make it all 3 green white checkers. So
I figured there was going to be a big fuel mileage run right at the end. I think that's why Greg had to come in, because I think he would have gotten the win if he didn't have to.
yeah, it seemed like that's what was going on. I know him and the 84 peeled off, and I was getting really good brief starts, and then I would lose speed down the back stretch. So I was just kind of hoping like we could get another yellow on the last green white checkered so I could stay up there. But
I mean, in any case, you brought it home to a fantastic position for your team, Cyclone Racing.
yeah, shout out to my teammates. They know we all got caught up in some mess. I think everyone did. But we ran a pretty good race overall, but it's Daytona, so.
Yeah, I had to say that multiple times throughout the broadcast. It's Daytona. It's all completely luck based and some skill.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Well, you ran a great race, and I think everyone's got to be happy with you. Is there anyone out in the audience you want to thank?
Shout out to Raise Energy. You can use code XSBlack98 at checkout for a discount. Shout out to Tracy Humber Fishing. And Patrick, his podcast is one of my sponsors as well. So shout out to him and any of my family that might be watching tonight.
All right, Steven, that's great. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, now for your race winner, here he is, Michael Jennings. Mr. Jennings, it's me in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Better than some of my competitors at this point.
That's a very harsh truth. I think a lot of them have to face at this point.
Absolutely.
You got yourself up 11 positions. You're not quite the hard charger, just under somebody, but that's such a gain. How did you do it?
Basically, with these plate tracks, we can't get away from each other. I've tried to stick in the back and bide my time and just take the opportunities when they're presented to me. This race seemed a little different. I just kind of took what I could when I could and let the rest come to me.
Clearly it worked out in your favor. You did such an amazing job being able to hold it the entire time. I think everyone in the chat had to be very mindful of all the waving everyone was doing coming out of 4. I think it was the worst.
Yes. Definitely. It's hard for win, definitely, for everybody.
For sure. Well, I do have to tell you something. You do have a fan out in the chat that wants to let you know that AERL, everyone there loves you. That they love you too.
Yep, my boys over at the Amateur Esports Racing Leagues, they knew we were running tonight, so a big shout out to those guys. Can't wait to get on the track with you guys again in the next several days.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you very much for your time. Is there anyone in the audience you want to thank tonight?
Yes, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you, Noah. Without you, we wouldn't be putting on a show for everybody. I'd like to thank Steve Black and Black Designs. They've stuck by me since the beginning of the first season when I was at my worst with iRacing. They've stuck by me. They've had faith in me. I'd like to big shout out to Greg, Tyler, like I said, Steve, Patrick, Brandon, my core group of guys that have been with us since the beginning. They've never lost faith in me. They've always been my biggest cheerleaders on the track. So I want to big shout out to them. Amateur Esports, thank you for your support. And all the fans that showed up to watch.
We definitely did have a decent amount of them come out tonight, so I'm sure they all appreciate that from their race winner.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and congratulations on that fantastic win.
Thank you, sir. You have a great night.
You too. All right, well, that is going to be it for our broadcast here tonight. That has been quite the event. 3 hours. Hopefully Homestead Miami won't be this long. I'm glad to have been your broadcaster here tonight. Thank you absolutely to everyone that's come out. Thank you to Pierce Graphics for all my overlays. Thank you to Black Designs for giving CASCAR such a great place. And thank you to CASCAR for letting me be your broadcaster for you guys. I've been Noah Walter, and I've been your broadcaster here for tonight all by myself for the last 3 hours. So I'm going to go take a nap. I'll see y'all guys later.